Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Camille Mackenzie. If you're new to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and subscribe to the channel and turn on your notification button so you know every time I post new content on the channel. For those of you who are also here as well, make sure if you're viewing this video, you put a like down there, drop a like for me so I can be able to know that you're liking this content. Listen, today we're going to talk about a subject I think that all of us can relate to. The fact that life is a challenge. The fact that life is difficult and that it can feel like a struggle. I think especially for most of us right now in coronavirus season, in coronavirus season, that we typically feel a sense of overwhelm because it feels as like the world is in chaos. We have coronavirus, we have economic issues, we have, and those are personal issues that we may be dealing and facing. We have family and relational issues. We have issues perhaps with our career or our vocation or our line of work. So it can get to a point where life can feel really like a struggle. And can we hang in there for this struggle and really make it the distance? Well, obviously with Christ, we can. That is the good news, right? But there are three things in the struggle that I want you to remember. Whatever it is that you're struggling with today, there are three things that I want you to remember. The first of which is this. The reality is life is a struggle. Period. And you may say, well, Camille, haven't you been stating that throughout this content? Yes, I have been. But listen, sometimes we can get in our rosy colored glasses and put on those rose colored glasses and tend to ignore what is really real, which is life is a struggle. And although, we don't want to sit there every moment of the day and say, yes, it's a struggle, it's a struggle, it's a struggle, and just obsess over that, we have to acknowledge it. What we don't acknowledge, we can't change. So we have to be able to acknowledge it. I love the reality-based thinking of Jesus Christ. Jesus said it this way in John 16, verse 33. He said, listen, in this world, you and I are going to have trouble. I'm paraphrasing here. But be of good cheer because I have already overcome the world. Wow. He's telling us, listen, you're going to go through struggles, but still be of good cheer. Settle that in your mind that you are going to decide to be of a good attitude, to be of an attitude of joy, irrespective of what is happening in your world. And listen, there are different ways in which we can do that to retain our joy or gain back our joy. That's for another video content in terms of how we navigate life when life is hard. How do we regain our joy? How do we maintain joy? So comment below, by the way, if you want a video on that, and I will do a video on that content for you. Now, Number two, the fact that we acknowledge that life is a struggle. The word struggle implies that it's not going to be easy. It implies that whatever it is that we're going through in life and in general, that this life journey is not easy. And again, I reiterate this and I say this because sometimes we could get so much into quote unquote positive speak that if we say something like, yeah, I'm kind of going through a struggle, or someone says, listen, you seem to be struggling right now. Someone said, no, I'm not struggling, because that's just negative talk, as if acknowledging something is negative. The truth is not negative. It's our perspective on that truth or our attitude about that truth that we need to deal with. But acknowledging the truth, as I just mentioned with Jesus in John 16:33, is really, really key in our ability to then say, okay, this is what's happening. Now, how do we deal with this? All right. So that's point number two. And point number three is this. You and I are not alone in our struggle. A lot of times when we're going through things, a difficult season in our life, whether that be our health, whether that be our relational issues, whether that be something where it's financial, a lot of times when we're going through things, it's very easy in those periods to just clam up and cluster in and just kind of get in our shell and not speak to other people about it and not communicate to people that we trust and say, hey, I'm going through this right now and I need some prayer, or I need you to kind of talk me through this because I'm just feeling completely negative or completely down or disappointed, and I don't know really how to get myself out of this space. If that is you, and if that is you right now, you're going to want to look at some folks in your life and evaluate those relationships and say, do I have some people that I can be able to call on right now and say, listen, can we talk? Because I'm going through some stuff right now. And if you're saying, listen, I'm actually doing that inventory right now, Camille, as you're speaking, and there's not many people whom I can go to and talk to in my time of need. Well, that means that you're in a place in your life where God is going to want you to build new relationships. Pray for him to build folks, to bring people into your life who are going to help you to navigate life and to bring positivity and encouragement and inspiration in your life. And that prayer will be answered by God. He will mobilize folks from the east and west to be there to help you in your time in need. All right, so those are the 3 points I want to mention. Now let's talk about some practical things we can do when we're in this period of struggle. The first thing I would recommend that we do is to really realize, and this one is kind of like a bonus. This is not part of what I really am going to say in terms of 3 other practical things I want to mention. But this is really key. I mentioned it in the last step in terms of the last point in terms of talking about when we're going through something, the importance of prayer. Prayer, Oswald Chambers says, is the work. I love that thought, because oftentimes when we're going through something, whether it's us or it's other people in our world, we're kind of like, oh, well, all we can do is pray. All we could do is pray. Now, you know, I'm not knocking all of us who do that. And I noticed I said us because I've done it, and God has like put that little ping in my spirit, like all you can do is pray, because that implies that this is the last resort. The situation is so tough. Only God can help me, but this is so hard. But it's almost as if, well, maybe he can help me, maybe he can't. I'm really trying to help myself, and I realize I'm at the end of my own resources or the end of human resources, so all I could do is pray. Listen, prayer is the work. Our ability to get God involved in whatever situation that we're facing is the most important thing that we can do. Because as we get on our knees and we get before him and we ask him to intervene in our situation, he does. Believe that and have faith that he will do exactly that. So, practical step number 1, we need to take small steps of progress in our struggle bus journey, so to speak. When we are in a moment or a period in life where we are dealing with a lot of struggle, we need to be able to recognize that we're going to have to take small steps in this time. This is not a period of time where we say we're going to rush and run and try to do this and do that. We're going to have to literally take that deep breath and figure out what is that small next step that I can manage or I can do or I can handle right now. Life has to be broken down into small steps. Now, whether we're struggling or not, really, this is a great action plan, because when we tend to get overwhelmed in life is because we're looking at just how much we need to do and we're trying to attack everything all at the same time, and it's too much, rather than breaking things into small pieces. Break down whatever you're going through into small pieces. What can you handle? What can you not handle? What's in your box? What's in the God box? What are the things that you can control and you can work on? And what are the things that you got to leave that to God and say, God, this is the thing for you. I can't deal with this. All right. So this is what we got to do. That's the first step. And step number 2 is that we need to refocus our attention. What do I mean by that? You know, listen, Tony Robbins tells this wonderful story of like, it's just a situation I think all of us can relate to. You go to a party, but imagine it's not a party. It could be anywhere. It could be a church setting. It could be a gathering at a home. And in this case, he used a party. And he says, at this party, there are folks who were there. And, you know, one side of the party, you saw people who were in love, and they were just loving on each other. And they were just in love. It was beautiful. It was sweet. Nothing offensive. Nothing, you know, distasteful. They were just lovely people displaying love towards each other. And then on the other corner of the room at this particular gathering, you see folks, and they are fighting and they're arguing, and it's a brawl and it's getting nasty. Now he says, listen, these folks, somebody, just imagine one couple decides to leave that party now. They've left, the evening is done, they have left. Their perspective can either be one of two things. Wow, that was a great party. I remember seeing that couple and they were just so in love, and oh my gosh, how beautiful that is. Or they could be, oh my gosh, it's the worst party I've ever been. Now, of course, a balanced perspective is going to take in all of that. I saw the couple, you can acknowledge that, who were loving. You saw the brawl, you can acknowledge all of that. That's a balanced perspective. But a perspective that allows us to refocus on that which is good, that which is true, that which is lovely, that which is worthy of praise, is going to focus on that couple rather than the one, that loving couple that is, rather than that couple or folks who were in the room that were having a brawl. So you have more of a positive bent or a godly bent towards the situation, Philippians 4:8, than a more negative one. It's all about focus, just like a camera lens. What are you focusing on is my question to you. So specifically, what do we focus on? For you and I, we need to focus on what are the blessings right now that I have in my life. Sometimes we can focus on, well, I don't feel well, or I feel tired, or people are not supporting me, or I'm really struggling financially. Listen, all sympathy here. There's sympathy here. I get that. But that's not going to help us when we are struggling. Struggling on our blessings, focusing on our blessings, focusing on the things that are really great in our life that God has done and is doing will help us to navigate whatever we're going through with joy and with peace. I've always said this in any teaching content as a Bible teacher. I say this to folks all the time, that gratitude is an antidote to any of the negative emotions that we tend to feel. You're feeling stressed, you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling disappointed, you're feeling sad, you're feeling just a sense of disillusionment with life. Listen, find some ways to count your blessings, some things that are still great in your life, and you will see your attitude turn immediately around into something that is more positive, but what we would call that biblically is peace, joy, and all of those great things will become yours. Another question you need to ask yourself as well as you refocus your attention here, number 2, is what progress or growth have you made in this season of struggle of life? What progress and growth can you celebrate? Can others celebrate with you? Rather than focusing on what's negative and what's going bad, what progress has been made in this struggle period? What growth has been made as a result of this struggle? That is going to be a great focus point for you and I as well. The other thing we need to think about is remember that our feelings are fickle. They are so fickle, my friends. Our thoughts are what creates our feelings. So at the end of the day, if you and I are feeling negative or we're feeling down, I want you to do an inventory of what are you thinking, because that's what's creating your thoughts. That is not reality. You can change your thoughts, and if you change your thoughts, you change your emotions. So I want you to focus on God's faithfulness. I want you to focus on the fact that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you, Philippians 4:13. I want you to focus on Romans 8:28 during this time, that God will take all things and work to the good of those who love him and are called according to his purpose. I want you to focus on the fact that you serve a mighty God, that everything in our life, even the struggle, is a gift that he can turn around and bless you and I in the midst of whatever it is that we are going through. Period. Full stop. All right. And then I want you to get rid of comparison. I want you, if you've been focusing on someone else is not struggling, but you are struggling, I want you to get rid of that. I don't want you to stay in your lane. I want you to focus on, once again, how you have made progress, how God is helping you, and where he is with you on your particular unique journey. All right. Honor the struggle is the last point I would say under this category here of refocusing our attention. I love this statement by Brendan Burchard. I actually have it in my kitchen now, where I have it so I can see it and remember that anytime I'm going through a struggle, honor it. What does honor mean? Honoring the struggle means that ultimately at the end of the day, I see that this is going to work for good. I have to see struggle as a good thing. I have, instead of this bad, horrible thing that I'm fearing or I don't like, or God, can I just get through this and move on? I have to honor the struggle. I have to realize that this is a good thing. Romans 8:28, again, this is a good thing. Because we serve a good God, and he will take this and take lemons and make lemonade. So honor the struggle. Think through that every single day, as well as these scriptures I've mentioned as to what all of this means. And the last point I want to make today as well is get help where you can. That's point number 3. When we're going through things, I mentioned this earlier in terms of like just struggle, we can just get so into our own bubble that we isolate ourselves. Get the help you need. If it's financial help, then you need to speak to the kind of people that you know are going to help you. If it's emotional help, you need to seek out that people who you know are going to help you emotionally. If it's spiritual help, seek out the folks that are going to help you spiritually, etc., etc. You get the point. So if we are able to acknowledge the 3 truths that I mentioned at the beginning of this video, and we're able then to implement the 3 points in which I just mentioned, take some action in regards to our struggle, we'll find that the journey will become lighter. It doesn't mean that the journey is going to just go away and the struggle go away, but at least we'll go through that struggle with joy and with peace. So if you have liked this content, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel. I love you guys. Remember to get out there and just inspire others and to love others. I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.